just turn
and whether or not we
so fast
non-lethal methods,
and that's what I think
I'm not
a lot
opposed
of
to.
conservatives.
I'm absolutely not opposed to controlling the population through non-lethal methods. I'm just saying killing living people, well, like you said, contraceptives and abstinence.
Okay, that's actually a good answer.
And there's a lot of rhetoric out there saying, well, abstinence doesn't work.
I just don't see a big sign that says abstinence and contraception.
Right, because the issue we're addressing here is the killing of people, the abortion, that it's wrong to kill people. That's what we're addressing. I see what you're saying is you think the foundational issue behind it is the
I see alienation here. I don't see anything inviting.
Well, it's because this is a horrific deed that's been minimized by our society, and we want to confront the society.
I know, but you're losing more people than you're gaining as far as people who want them.
Of course, you're presuming what my goals are. My goal is to make people see the evil that our society's perpetrating. To look at our society, look at our values, that we can get up and rah, big political rally about the
possibility
fact
of showing
grinding our own children.
You have the possibility of showing a possible solution to that, and there isn't a big sign anyway.
But if people don't recognize that there's a problem, they're not going to work for a solution. And I agree. I think
you're not listening to me though. If you had a big sign that said solution, it'd be more inviting than alienating.
Okay.
So if you got like 3 people to stop per day when 1 million went by, that's a lot of people who just went by. Why don't you put something inviting up?
I just think until you have to give birth, then you can have an opinion on it.
Yeah.
So should we throw out Roe v. Wade? Is that what you're saying? Because all 9 of the judges on Roe v. Wade were men that never had birth. So according to your logic, they should have.
They just have more
empathy.
They were sympathetic.
If somebody agrees with you,
you personally.
if somebody agrees with you, then they can say all they want. But if they disagree with you,
I'm just saying until you're a woman and until you have a uterus and ovaries, and if you have them, great. But if you don't, then you shouldn't be able to even speak on it.
Right, and I'm just saying by your line of reasoning. Don't you see what I'm saying?
No.
By her line of reasoning.
No, you're making a logical joke.
No, because she's saying if I don't have an ovaries and a uterus, I can't speak on the issue. Okay?
Well, you can't put up posters of fetal babies and compare the opposing side to Nazis and the Ku Klux Klan. Don't you think that's a little rash?
I absolutely think it's totally reasonable. But what she's saying is
that's totally reasonable.
Absolutely, yeah. Because the common factor is this. They all believe that you can make society better by killing extremely large numbers of people. And they all believe
these are based on personal instances. These are per individual. It's not like they have a specific plan to let's just kill off a race
It isn't a systematic thing.
It absolutely is. Abortion is promoted in a very systematic fashion in our society. There's large organizations.
That's why Planned Parenthood is so well funded.
Absolutely, they are hugely well funded.
I was being facetious. You ever been to Planned Parenthood?
They
survive on donations.
Millions. They get tax deductible.
They're practically non-profit.
They get tax deductible. They are non-profit technically, but they've turned 65 million profit. I believe it was in 2005, and they get huge donations.
I wonder what the revenues of your church are, because they're also tax exempt.
My church is not actually tax exempt.
Why not?
It's just an unregistered church.
You're in a cult?
Yeah, well, I think if you do Christianity right, it is a cult. But that's just my personal opinion.
All right, well, then we have some common ground then.
Yeah. And I think all killings. Including this.
I think killing animals is wrong.
But people aren't animals?
Well, yeah, okay, valid point.
If you think killing animals is wrong, what about humans? I mean, you should think humans are even more so.
We've overstayed our welcome. We're doing everything in our power to make this planet miserable for everything else.
But you guys still don't get the connection with what I was saying to the Roe v. Wade.
No, I see what the point you're trying to make, but there's a definite disconnect.
I can't speak on the subject. All 9 of those guys were men. None of them had uteruses.
Well, okay, let's just say that only women could speak on it.
Her argument was hypocritical. That's my point.
She was just trying to have a concise point.
She was trying to take a shot.
If only women could speak on it, what would happen?
If only women could speak on it?
Yeah, what would happen?
I think there's probably...
if only women could speak on it, they could make a choice.
Yeah, I know tons of women.
Do you think it's better to have a choice?
We have a choice. It's a God-given choice.
Do you think...
My point is this. What choices are we making? Are we choosing to kill people to make the world a better place? And if we are, yes, we're very much like the Nazis.
What are your feelings on masturbation? Sorry if I'm interrupting you.
He believes in when the sperm...
The sperm and the egg unite, and that's a common misconception. If life begins at conception, then there's no loss of life at resurrection. Do you see what I'm saying? Because it's not a genetically distinct individual. Sperm is a haploid cell. It's got half the set of genes.
So do you consider sex in itself entirely sacred?
If it's done right, it is.
But, dude,
There's a lot of
you're gonna have to
vile-
define that because there's definitely prostitute. There's not. I'd say, what percentage of the time would you say that sex is sacred and done right, quote unquote?
I think when it's a one man,
But how often?
one woman committed
How often?
for life. A percentage, you know what?
Between prostitution-
I'll take a wild guess, but I mean, I really don't know. I'd say probably maybe 40 or 50% of the population. But I mean, I really am shoot from the cuff now.
I think the fact of the matter is not just in the United States, but throughout the world, sex is very seldomly held sacred. It's something that people do for fun. We are one of the few mammals that actually participate in sex for
Absolutely.
fun. So what's the difference between like me jerking off in a tissue, like, and that's not like squandering life because there's no connect.
Right.
But what if I get like a hand job? What's the difference between a hand job and then like actually having physical sex with a hooker? Because if I have physical sex with her, it's sacred. And
No,
this
I'm
is
not
why
You're using her like. she
Yeah,
was
I'm
your
not saying that
hand.
it's not sacred. It's disgraceful. You're paying somebody to have sex with you. I think you've dehumanized
a lot of
her,
people do this.
and you've dehumanized yourself.
I
Hey,
personally
look at this.
don't.
I was.
but a lot of people.
I was.
Yeah,
I was a very promiscuous person. I was in the Marine Corps. I've done all kinds of immoral things, and I'm not
Were you
going to sit
homosexual?
here and I'm not going to sit here and play out my whole sexual past.
I don't want you to either.
Yeah, I'm
no.
not going to. All I'm saying is, I'm not saying this in any kind of holier than thou thing. I'm just saying, if you have immoral relationship with somebody, you're degrading yourself and them both.
That's not what the issue we're discussing here. Though.
Okay, I'm sorry to get off topic.
Well, no, it's cool, but basically the point is that like how do you define sex as sacred? And every time sex is committed, that
that's what
there
I'm
should
saying.
and a
It's
child.
not. I'm not defining it as
Okay.
sacred. I'm saying it can
should
be.
be. It should be.
It should be, and it can be. But in and of itself, no. And like you're saying, most of the mammals put us to shame. The way we self-indulge ourselves, we kill our children, we slaughter our neighbors, we rise up. I mean, every single one of us here is living well because we got stealth bombers and a bunch of liars in an intelligence circle that keep us fat and happy. So it's not like my hands or your hands are any cleaner. We're all in this together. But what I'm saying is our society is based on bloodshed, our own children and our neighbors. And we need to
because all
come to
those
grips with
people
the
were
fact
born
that
before Roe v.
that
Wade.
we're gonna sit here and say that the people in Darfur and the German citizens of the Third Reich were so much lower than we are. I think we're kidding ourselves. Those people wanted to build a better society, and they got misled into doing it through killing. And I'm saying we're doing the same thing here in this country. We're slaughtering people at home and abroad to make ourselves more comfortable, and it is
But
evil.
you said that you're talking about a different kind of prevention, but it's all prevention.
No, you're challenging me that I need to present a alternative that this is where we should be going with this. And your criticism is that we're not doing that. And I'm saying, yes, essentially your criticism is correct. We're just trying to point to the problem that killing is going on. It is evil. They're real people. You can look at them. That's why they're so bent on denying the authenticity of these pictures, which has been proven in court. We paid abortionists to allow us to take pictures. Ages are accurate. Almost everything we have
And these are the pictures he's talking about. And this is at Portland State University in Portland, Oregon.